Okay, what's up guys? So here we are, we've got the 343 Sandbox update for Season 3. I've been waiting for this one for a while. I think they've mentioned a lot of stuff in the past, like they're going to be changing weapons out, they're going to be looking at ammo and stuff. So let's go and have a look at if they are doing those things, and also let's go and have a look at if they're rebalancing any weapons and leaving them in. So, we've got the Bandit coming in, so 5-shot kill and no bloom. So this is going to be similar to, I suppose it's going to be like the BR, but it's going to have recoil. So imagine the BR having no bloom, but then the recoil that you have with a Commando, I'm supposing. So maybe the gun will climb up as you shoot, and then when you let go of the trigger, it should go back down, which is basically the same as the Commando. Not used it myself, not really looked at any videos on it, but I'm assuming that's how it's going to work. The Bandit's going to be a heavy hitter on keyboard, for sure. As a keyboard player, I find the BR very annoying to use, and I find the Commando very fun to use. So with the Bandit rifle coming in, and hopefully some of the other changes the 343 has said they're going to do a little later, this weapon is definitely a contender for entering the meta once we know the TTKs and things like that. We've also got the Shroud Screen coming in. Again, this acts as like a smoke, and Tashi on and Unishek on Twitter have both said that they are going to be releasing some information about some map spawns changing to do with weapons in Season 3, and this information isn't available yet. We're very curious to see where the Shroud Screen is going to be placed on the maps, and in particular which maps, if any, or if it's just going to be kept into the new releasing maps. Is it Oasis, and I can't remember the name of the other one. They're not going to be ranked maps, so maybe they're going to keep the Shroud Screen out of ranked for now, and maybe we'll see it maybe in Season 4 going to ranked. We don't actually know yet. And here's the thing I really wanted to talk about. So the VK78 Commando, the Commando now requires 9 shots to kill up from 8. So they've not affected the firing rate of the weapon, they've not affected the sort of the aim assist or anything on the weapon, because let's not forget, earlier on in the season, they buffed the aim assist on this gun. And a lot of people liked it, but a lot of people at the higher end, sort of high onyx, like the pros, they thought the Commando was just busted because it was just too good. And I think 343 have been put in a bad position where if they nerf the Commando, then the majority of the player base are not going to be able to use it again. But if they leave it as it is, then pros are going to get annoyed because and maybe even GA it because it's just too good. So they've tried to come up with a middle ground here, where they've said that they're going to increase the shots to 9. On Twitter, some pros such as Sparty have been saying that, you know, he would have been happy if they just reverted the auto aim feature, not auto aim, the aim assist and things like that. As I was saying earlier, you can see that it's very split on the middle. I'm not sure how to fix the Commando because I feel like on keyboard and mouse it behaves exactly as I expect it to, but I feel like on controller it's a little too easy to use. So you know, I'm glad I'm not making these decisions. But if we just look at TTKs for a second here, this means that the BR is a 1.55 second time to kill if you perfect someone. I believe the Commando with 8 shots was around 1.12 or something like that. So it was much faster. I'll link the post in Reddit that I read for this information as well in the description. But if you add an extra shot, it's still only 1.29. So it is still a good quarter of a second faster than a BR. So we'll have to see what difference that makes in the long run. Unfortunately, if you struggle to hit the headshots, some people have been saying now because the bullet damage has been reduced, it means the body shots needed is going to increase as well, which means that now you might only be able to get 1 kill in a clip if you don't headshot the target, whereas before I think you could squeeze out 1 3/4. Now it's definitely just going to be 1 and 2 shots or something like that. So definitely a bigger impact if you're struggling to hit those headshots. Next, we got the plasma pistol. This gun needed a change. It was just busted. The red rack changes helped it out a lot. Only having one on the map made a big difference. I was sick of playing live fire and recharge. Glad that's coming back. Recharge's coming back. Where there was like 3 plasma pistols and it was just awful. Yeah, it felt like I was playing Turf on Halo 2 again, where there was 2 plasma pistol spawns and everyone was just camping noob combo, except the noob combo was buffed. So here we can see 343 are coming from the direction that the homing in is too strong, and the fact that if you are being chased, and let's not forget, you know, reversal in Halo is a skill expression thing. they were feeling like the plasma pistol was not a skill expression. It was not a skill expression event. It was literally you charge the pistol, you turn around, you shoot the guy in the face, and then you BR them or punch them. So what they're doing is they're increasing the charge time of the plasma pistol by 60%. 60. So you are still going to be able to use it. It is still going to do what it does, but you're not going to be able to just charge it up and just yeet the plasma pistol bolt across the map as fast as you could before. So I think that's a very good change. And also, we can see at the bottom of the screen here that they're also reducing some of the homing abilities of it as well. So the tracking angle has been reduced from 70 to 50. So it's less likely to sort of bend when you fire it. And the target track radius, I'm not fully sure what this means, but I'm interpreting it as when it's near you, how far it can fully track. And I'm not sure, I'll have to look at that. But overall, this means that it's less aggressive when it tracks, which I think was needed. I think the tracking was much, much, much too aggressive. I've seen games where someone from bottom of snipe tower on live fire fires the plasma pistol down to screens and it literally curves around turbine. It's absolutely ridiculous. So I'm really glad that that's been changed. And then also we've got some other bits of balance coming in. So footsteps are harder to hear at a distance, very easier to hear when very close. So I had a very interesting experience with this because Above Average Coder did a video on uncompressed and compressed audio. And I used to play uncompressed, and I had no issues telling which direction someone was coming from, but I struggled to hear them. When I played on compressed, I could tell when someone was coming, but I couldn't tell from which direction. So it felt like whichever one I picked, I was getting shafted. Like, you could have like a little wall in between you and someone else, and they're silent. And then you walk out, and then they're really loud. So I'm hoping these changes have fixed that. I think, footsteps are an important part of the game. I think in some cases, sometimes they were too loud. But I think the way that the environment was blocking the footsteps was a bit unrealistic, and sometimes it led to misleading information being given. So hopefully this change is going to alleviate that. And then the big one, remove from ranked arena the Mangler, Halo 3 coming through, the Energy Sword and the Pulse Carbine. So this raises a few questions, of which I'll be doing a follow-up video on. What's going to replace the Mangler? Are they just going to put in sidekicks? Because the sidekick is faster than the BR to kill someone, but it's a lot harder to use. The Energy Sword just needed to go. Without the old shotgun being in the game, it's awful. Recharge the shotgun, the Energy Sword and the Repulsor are next to each other, which is really stupid. And we had it on Catalyst as well, and I think it spawned next to the grapple. I can't remember, it's been a while since I played Catalyst, but I think the Energy Sword, it just doesn't have a direct sandbox counter, so it just needs to go. And the Pulse Carbine, I got mixed feelings about this one. I genuinely liked the Pulse Carbine. I thought the way they changed it, it was a 4-shot burst. Yes, it's not hard to use, but if you lead the shots and the opponent's not strafing, do they not deserve to get hit by it? I don't know. I feel like the Pulse Carbine was a less cheesy noob combo. It was still a bit cheesy, but it was like, oh, okay, you led the shots, or I was stood still and he hit me, so therefore I kind of deserve it. Whereas the noob combo, it was just like homing missile across the map. So what are they going to replace those with? Are we going to see more commandos on the map? Or are they just going to leave the weapon racks blank? Or are they going to put in a plasma pistol instead? Please don't do that. Or are they going to put in sidekicks, etc.? Or where does the Bandit rifle fit into this? So this means we could see Bandit rifle on maps like, we could see the Bandit rifle spawning in PD on streets. We could see it spawning. Oh, where else does the Pulse Carbine spawn? I think that's it. We could see it on streets. The Energy Sword could get changed to a Bandit, maybe. I don't think they're going to put the Gravity Hammer in, because I think the reason why... I heard a rumour that the reason Recharger had to be took out was because they changed the power weapons, and then it ended up spawning a Gravity Hammer or something. Gravity Hammer in ranks would not be very fun. And then also underneath, receiving tuning updates for the Disruptor. So the Disruptor, they weren't happy about the potency of the tick damage. They weren't happy about the potency of the tick damage and how that was preventing people from recharging their shields and therefore slowing down the pace of the game. So I think they buffed the clip size by 1 and then they suddenly decided it was OP. I used to hit on the Disruptor a lot, but actually it's a really good weapon. So I think it does need some changes on how long it stops you from recharging your shields. But please, God, don't make it so it's like the shot grenades where it slows you down so you can't jump. Please do not do that, because that is just not fun. And then spike grenades, there was some stuff to do with randomness, and I thought they'd address that, so I'm not really sure what they're getting on with that. And then finally, we've just got some other changes to rubber banding. The bottom 4 changes, I believe, are just related to social. So if you're a social player, good news for you. I like to play social sometimes, but it's not the main reason I play the game. Hit registration, vehicle desync, and rubber banding being gone is always a good thing, so happy times for you. And then rubber banding is less likely to occur when moving or sprinting immediately after a match starts. Why does this happen? There's so many games I've played where I'll sprint and I'll curb slide off something and I just get rubber banded all the way back, and it's so disorientating at the start of a round. It must be the way the server loads in the round or something. But I'm glad to see that they said that they've fixed that in some regard. So that's sort of my thoughts and summary on these changes so far. As I said, they have confirmed that there will be more information about the changes to weapon spawns and what spawns on each rack coming later before the season releases. Well, that's what they've said. And I'll definitely be covering that in a video that comes out on the day that we find that information. So I hope this type of video is helpful and helps you to digest the information with a bit of context. Stay tuned for more. We'll be hitting Season 3 very heavily for the first week or so, just to get out as much content as we can. And in the meantime, enjoy Halo. Hope your grind goes well in Ranked, and I'll see you on Tuesday in the queue. So this has been Vanadam. See you later, guys.